Salute, salute, salute. Like I said in the last video, they're desperate, right? They're so desperate that you even have these Keishas coming out saying, hey, don't go to these mixers because it makes them look desperate. First of all, the mixers don't make you look desperate. You're desperate without the mixers. It just amplify the thirstiness that y'all have when y'all go into these mixers because you there looking for a relationship. You're looking for the same guy all those other women are looking for, and the pickings is slim because the dudes are not there, and the ones that are there, they're only there for late night action. That's it. They there for late night action. They not there for tomorrow, next week. They there for some late night action. And if they can't get any late night action, it's a wrap. They ain't trying to put in no work. They ain't trying to court you. It's just late night action. That's all you became when you turned 30, 35, 40. You became late night action. Anyway, let's go.
I know somebody's already said this, but I'm gonna say it again. Stop going to these dating singles, mixers and blind dating, speed dating. Stop going to all these events, okay? Because you look desperate. And I'm not saying that to like hurt somebody's.
First of all, in black men, this is the reason why you're done out here. Black men are so tired of the same look. They all look the same, man. Face full of cake batter. Look at this. Look at this. This don't belong to you. And look at it. We know it doesn't grow out of your scalp. This is so corny. It's so played out. Dudes are so tired of it. It's the same look. And they think they look fly. No, you don't. It's the same look. Cake batter. Look at all this makeup. Look at all this. Look at this. And this, it's enough is enough. Yeah, black men, enough is enough. Let's go.
Anybody's feelings or talk down or like shame anybody or anything like that, but this is what you look like to the outside world. This is what you give, right? And not only to the
Got
outside world, but
caterpillars
that's
for
what you give to the man
eyelashes.
that you're looking for. Because see, the type of man that you're looking for is somebody that's charismatic, somebody that is charming, somebody that is attractive. It doesn't have to be a 10, right? But he needs to be attractive to you. Somebody that has a good career, that's family oriented, that is emotionally intelligent, emotionally and financially stable, all these things. This is what you're looking for. But all the other women, all the rest of us are looking for that same man, right?
Exactly. You're all looking for the same man. That's the thing. You're all looking for the same guy who's probably most likely is in those departments that she's talking about, who 15%, 10 to 15%. You're all looking for the same guy. That guy is in a 10 to 15% range. So 90 to 80, 85 to 90% of the dudes that they should be looking at gets overlooked because they too busy chasing the same guy. Now, here's the kicker, though. Once they start to get washed, like up there in age, then they start looking at those other guys, the 85%, the 90%. They start looking at those guys. The problem with that is that those guys end up settling dealing with them. Those guys end up settling dealing with them.
Right? So he doesn't have any problems getting women. So he's not going to go to a singles event, to a singles mixer, to try to find another woman to add to the list of women that he already has to pay for. Because you got to think about it. We're not dating dusties. We're not going to be with a dusty or
No, you were dating dusties. Yes. Matter of fact, you got knocked up by them too. And don't call them dusties now because you weren't calling them dusties in your prime. You were calling them your boyfriends. You were calling them your boos, and they're your baby daddies. Yeah, they calling them dusty now because they feel like they should get a better dude. No, you don't get a better dude. You don't get that guy that's financially stable, that's in shape. You don't get that dude that has all his, all his faculties in order. He's family oriented. You don't get that dude. You didn't want him in your prime. You don't get him. You stay with your Dusty that you calling him Dusty all of a sudden now because you listening to all these other content creators. And we know who she listens to, the wig wearers. When you hear certain language, you know she's listening to these wig wearers, the number one wig wearer.
Or a man that doesn't want to provide for us. So that man is a provider, and he has to siphon through all the options that he already has. He's not going to go out and actively seek more options at a dating event, especially not there, because desperation is not attractive. It's not sexy. No one wants the desperate lonely girl, and I know that that's not the case. You know that that's not the case.
First of all, they don't care. That's the thing. This is what they don't get. Black men, not just black men don't care about women being desperate as long as they're desperate for them. See, Becky will be desperate. Becky would say she's desperate. She's looking for a man. Because Becky, a lot of times Becky's mess up too. They mess up too. They thought they had options, and they got older and realized they don't have any options, and the men ain't checking for them like they used to. And you know what Becky would do? Becky would say she's desperate. Maria would say she's desperate. And they go out there and they go compete for these men. They'll go compete for these men. They'll show up to their doorstep with pies and all types of stuff. Ask them if everything's all right, wash their clothes, not even in relationships with them, and want to do these things because they're desperate. They're desperate. So they'll go out of their way to, try to get this guy's attention, to try to please this guy because they're desperate. Keisha is desperate, but want men to chase them, even though they're the ones that should do the chasing. They don't want to compete. That's the reason why they're so upset about the mixers, because there's so little guys there that there's no way that these guys are going to check for them when there's just so many women there. And salute to the brothers in the comment section. One brother in the comment section said the reason why they the reason why they upset about these mixers really is because when they go and it's not enough men there, then they can't just sit down and wait to be approached. Yeah, there's no men there. So if there's no men there, you can sit down all day. Nothing's happening. Anyway, let's go.
Like, that's what it gives. So stop going to these events. As a matter of fact, you'll probably be better off. You're probably better off getting on a dating app. Dating apps have had more successful marriages and more successful relationships.
What is she talking about? No, they haven't. That's the reason why they're going to the mixers. They're going to the mixers because the dating app hasn't been successful for them. The dating app is the reason why they're going to the mixers. This is why they just be talking. They telling them too. In the last video, the Keisha was like, the dating apps is not working out. They tired of going through the texts and talking on the phone, and then when it's time to meet up, there's no action. These guys ain't meeting up. Sometimes they get stood. A lot of times they get stood up. There's a lot of times they don't know what the guy look like, and the guy don't know what they look like because the guys stay getting catfish. The guys are not really meeting up. The guys are really not meeting up anymore. It's like a waste of time to them, They looking at it like, I'm going to meet up with someone that's not going to be their picture. They putting up pictures from 15, 20 years ago, right? You see them, they're 100 pounds bigger, they washed, it's like okay, they rather just stay home. So what they started doing was going to these mixers because the dating apps wasn't working. What is she talking about?
than speed dating and whatever else blind dating event. They've had more success. Now dating apps are trash. Don't get me wrong. I don't recommend dating apps. But if that's something, if you're the
So dating apps is trash, but they've been successful. What is she? This is the reason why nobody likes talking to them. I'm telling you, this is the reason why nobody, because they make no sense. They make no sense. Who can sit and listen to a Keisha all day, every day, as your wife, as your girlfriend? They make no sense. None. Let's go, man.
the alternative to going to these events would be to get on a dating app. Now, what I recommend is to get out there in the field. Get up, get out, and get in the field. Get in the field like our grannies and our mammies used to. Our grannies and our mammies, they was outside and they met their men outside. I'm not saying get up and go to the club or the bar. When I say outside, I mean literally outside of your house. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to go to these specifically to these events that are specifically curated for singles, because it's not going to be like girlfriends. It's not going to be like sex.
Go where? Go where? Give an example. Go where? Give an example. Let's see if she gives an example. Let's see if she gives an example. Let's go.
It's not going to be like Love Island. You're not going to find this Prince Charming man at these events. And don't look at the small demographic of people that have been successful at these events, because, like I said, it is a small demographic and you may not be the exception. So you would just be wasting your time going to these events. There are,
Okay. No example. You know why there's no example? Because she don't know where you are at, black man. She don't know where you at. She has no idea where you at. I'm talking about productive black men. She has no idea where you at. She don't know that you out on it again. You out there golfing. She don't know that you're out there fishing. She don't know about those. She don't know that you on your ATVs. She don't know where you at. She has no idea where you at, black man. None. She really don't. They don't know where you at. Because the things that you like to do, especially outdoorsy, outgoing brothers, they not into that stuff. They not into none of that stuff that you into. They really not. You started this is crazy, but I remember the cigar lounge, right? I remember and I talked about that in the last video. I remember the cigar lounge, right? You go to the cigar lounge, you see, men in there, right? With their cigars and their brandy, right? And it was a place for men just to go and, spend some time and decompress from being outside in the world. And, it's like a club. It's like a club for brothers that smoke cigars and drink brandy. And when they realize that the brothers that go there, right, these are sophisticated brothers, right? These are brothers that have their stuff together. And this is something more like a hobby of things they don't normally always do, but maybe once in a while. Well, some brothers do it weekly, not every day, but sometimes brothers go every other week. When they found out that that's where these guys were going, they flooded it. They flooded it. You started seeing all these Keishas talking about they smoke cigars and drink brandy because they were looking for you. They were looking for you. And when they got there, they noticed something. They noticed something. They noticed that these guys weren't talking to them. So they started going to the cigar lounge and they just started sitting there pretending like they like cigars and brandy. Just pretending. Couldn't tell you what type of cigar they was smoking, what brand, what kind of leaf, what type of tobacco. Couldn't tell you nothing. Couldn't tell you where it was imported from. Couldn't tell you any of that. Couldn't tell you any of that. Drinking cognac. Didn't know what they were drinking. Didn't know. So they just sat there waiting and nobody showed up. So they trying to figure out where you at, black man, where you hang out at. They even trying to figure out where you like to shop at and stuff like. And they just don't know. They don't know. That's why she can't give you an example. They don't know where you at.
Way more, I would say maybe about 95% of these events are women. And these women range from tall, short, long hair, short hair, black, white, whatever. Like there
Big back, yes, big back,
are
mostly
so
big.
many different options of women. And so if you look at it from a number standpoint, it wouldn't be smart to go there. It wouldn't be smart to go there because the 2% of men or 5%, whatever, that are going to be there are going to have all these gorgeous women to choose from. And you may or may not get picked. And so I feel like you would just be better off getting.
No, no. Compete. Compete. Because you see, what she don't understand is that even though these men are not going there, right, to these mixers, the numbers still don't favor y'all anyway outside for a number of reasons. Men in their 30s and their 40s, right, if they're not already in relationships, they don't want to be in any relationship. This is what they're not understanding. If you're in your 30s or 40s, a lot of these brothers had been in relationships. A lot of them been in long-term relationships. A lot of them been married. A lot of them just don't want to be tied down anymore. A lot of them would rather be single, and a lot of them just want to just date. Take a woman on a tizzy tour here and there, and that's it. They don't want any stress of any relationship. So by the time they get these guys, by the time they meet these guys in their 30s or 40s, these guys are not really interested in them. And the younger guys don't want them because they're old. They'll take them on the tizzy tour. They'll take some money from them, the younger guys, but that's it. So what you were supposed to do was get with these guys while they were young, while they were coming up, while they were green. This is what you were supposed to do. You were supposed to get with these guys and build with them. You didn't do that. Now you're washed and you out here looking, and ain't nobody checking. Nobody's checking.
Getting outside and getting in the field. Lace up your shoes and get outside. That's
Get
to
in the
me, that
field.
is the best.
Get in the field where? What field? Where? What are you talking about? Baseball field? Football field? What field? Where? You don't know where they at.
Way to attract what it is that you're looking for is to go outside and find it. Go to the gym. You won't just get healthy. You won't just get in shape. You might find a man there. Go to the grocery store.
Yeah, I know you're not going to the gym, man. You're not going to the gym. Stop it, man. I'm in the gym 5 times a week. 5 times a week. Sometimes 4, but for the most part, 5 times a week. When I go to the gym, I'm telling you, you want to be really Keisha free, go to the gym. They not in the gym. They not in the gym. I'm telling you, if you see a Keisha in the gym, right, you only see her there for 2 days. 2 days. That's it. She's not coming back. You know why? Because they don't like working out. They don't like working out. They're lazy. They don't like working out. They don't like the routine. They don't like that you have to put in some work. Do people like going to the gym? Some people love going to the gym. You have those gym rats. They love going to the gym. I'm gonna tell you right now, when I go to the gym, when I'm going to the gym, no, I don't like going. I don't like going. because my day is so filled. I have a lot of things to do. I'm running things here. I'm doing things over here. I got a lot of things to do in a day. I'm just everywhere with it. I'm productive like y'all. I'm making money. I'm making moves, and then I gotta squeeze in gym time. So whether I go to the gym early in the morning or late at night, it's after I'm I'm trying to it's either before I get to what I need to do for the day or after my day is over. Either way, it's still like I have to drag myself to the gym. I'm still dragging myself to the gym. I feel good afterwards. You get what I'm saying, black man? I feel good afterwards. After I put in an hour, because I'm usually in there just for an hour. I put in an hour, then I feel good. Going in there, I'm like, oh, okay. Putting the plates on the bar, getting on the treadmill, getting on the elliptical, doing sit-ups, leg stretches. It's the same routine when I go to the gym. Not the same because you work different body parts, but you know what I mean. But it's still like you got to put in that work, even though it's tiring, and even though you may be tired and you just really just want to go home and go to bed. That's when it's really time to go to the gym. They don't have that discipline. What I mean is, it's discipline that gets you in the gym. Don't care. You can wake up and don't want to go. You still have to drag yourself out of the bed and go. Whether it's hot outside, whether it's freezing outside, you still have to go to the gym, right? You still have to go. They don't have that discipline. So I don't know what she's talking about. Go to the gym, right?
Store. You won't just get groceries. You won't just get food to eat. You might find a man there. Go to church. You won't just get closer to the Lord. You might just find a man there.
The men are not in the church. See, she don't know where they at. The men been left the church. They don't know where you at, man. They don't know where you at. I know what I'm talking about.
Do not go to these specifically curated events because honestly, in my opinion, I think that these people that curate these events, they know that it's a lot of women that desire companionship, and so they cater to those women. It's set up for those women. And like I said, these men are not going out here looking for another woman to pay for. Never in the history of ever has a man woken up and said to himself, I'm going to go out here, I'm going to go find me a wife so I can start a family. Never. They go out here, they go outside and they look for vagina.
Ain't wrong. Men were doing that. See, when a man goes out and look for a woman, right, the first thing he does is think about, what he envisioned what she looks like. It's all about the looks. It's all about the looks. And she doesn't need to look like a model. She don't need to look like a model. She don't need to be a 10, but she need to be at least a 6, or if you have to settle for a 5, at least average looking. But one of the things that he needs to look at, she needs to be fit. She don't need to be shredded, but she needs to be fit. She needs to be fit. She needs to be in shape. So she needs to be in shape, and she needs at least to be a 6 or 5.5, right? Brothers weren't looking for 8s and 9s. They were cool with a 5, which is average. All right, which is average. Like her, she's a 5. She's a 5 with the makeup on. She's average. This is the average looking Keisha right here. This is the average looking Keisha. She's a 5. Brothers were cool with this. Not with all this makeup, but they were cool with the 5. She's a 5. Average looking. Average looking Keisha right here. Brothers weren't looking for 7s, 8s, and 9s. You heard what she said. They looking for a guy that's physically a 10. Physically a 10, a 9. Not only is he physically a 10 and a 9, but also he needs to be financially stable. Like, and when they mean financially stable, to us financially stable is taking care of yourself, right? Taking care of yourself, making enough money to pay your bills, making enough money to put a little investments here and there. Financially stable could be anything depending on where you live and depending on if you're just taking care of yourself, right? So a man would look at somebody who's financially stable. He probably making 70K a year, right? And he's living in an area that's cost effective for his salary, right? He's not living in a major city or anything like that. And even if he was, he knows how to budget, and it's just him and himself and nobody else. No kids, no girlfriend, just him and himself, right? Financially stable to them means he needs to be making $150,000, $200,000. That's what financially stable means to them. So not only does this guy needs to be a 10 in the looks department, he needs to be making around $150,000 to $200,000 per year. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? This is who they chasing. This is who they chasing. So that's the guy they talking about. Meanwhile, a guy that's doing well for himself, he go looks for a wife. He's cool with the average looking chick as long as she's in shape. He's not looking for a 10. He's not looking for a 9. He's not looking for an 8. He of course, he would like to have one, but he's realistic. He's realistic in his approach. He knows exactly where his station is at in life, and he's cool with that, and he moves accordingly. These Keishas are all out of order.
And if that vagina turns into some long-term stuff, and they have it to hold forever and ever, great. But they're not looking for that the way that men are not looking for wives in the way that women are looking for husbands. So stop going to these events.
Like I said, they were when they were younger. See, that's the thing. When men were younger, they were. Y'all are backwards. You were supposed to be looking for them in your prime. Not in your decline, in your prime. So now that you're washed, and these men that were in their 20s and they're in their 30s now, and they're doing well now, right? Now you want them, and they're saying no. They're not accepting the reach back. Glue
Because
head.
these people are just literally taking your money. They're taking your money because they know that you want companionship. They can feel the desperation. They see the desperation, and they're looking at you as if you're desperate. And they're like, how can I benefit and get money out of these women who long for long-term relationships and commitment? How can I get their money? So stop giving them their money and get up and get outside and get in the field.
Poor. Remember that short bus kid I told you about?
Here's the thing, men, black men, like I said before, they don't know you. These Keishas don't know you. They don't know what you're into. They don't know what your hobbies are. They don't know, where you like to go, vacations. They know nothing about you. They don't know anything about you. And the reason why they don't know anything about you is because the dusties that they call them, the pookies, they've been around, pookies, that's all they know. That's all they know. Pookies, dudes that have nothing going for themselves, criminals, drug dealers, and these guys go nowhere. They go nowhere. They always on the block, and that's what Keisha was. Keisha was a block hugger with Pookie, hugging the block. That's all. So they don't know where you are at. They don't know where productive black men at. They don't know where spots that you frequent. You ask the average Becky, what does Brad like to do? And she could tell you. She could tell you. She can tell you. She can tell you off of a few experiences. She can tell you off, what her father or what her brothers like to do. She could tell you these things. And she could tell you that with the guys that she dated, if she's married, she can tell you what her husband likes to do. She could tell you if she's If she's been divorced, she can tell you. She'll tell you what Brad likes to do. Maria can tell you what Hector likes to do. Keisha can't tell you what black men like to do because she don't know nothing about productive black men. She don't know nothing about you. She don't know your interests. She don't know she don't know what you like musically. She don't know what you like to watch on television. She don't know anything about you. Nothing. Because she's been in the dust so long that when she gets out of the dust, right, and try to go, well, when she tries to detach, when she tried to, because she's a dust ball too, but when she tries to detach herself from the dust and try to find out where you at, she's lost. She couldn't tell you one place where black men like to frequent. Not one. Not one. Productive black. She can't because they don't know nothing about you. And it needs to stay that way. It needs to stay that way. We don't need Keisha's ruining brothers' lives. Those days are done. Those days are done. We are the new black men. Those days, it's finito. It's finito. They wanted the gangsters, the criminals. They wanted the gangbangers. That's who they wanted. That's who they wanted. And they got them. And now that they older, they think that they should do better. They think that, that was just a phase. No, that ain't no phase. You had children out of that. You had children out of that. What do you mean a phase? You got human beings out of that chaos that you need to take care of. And you want us to help you take care of that. And you want us to save you from your life of poverty and desperation, because that's all that's going on with them in your later years. And it's not happening. No, continue to go and put on a pound of makeup on your face, wear Becky's and Maria's wig, hair type, and go outside and pretend like you one of them and keep getting rejected. Bum.
Bums.